Hey, podcast. We're going to flip the scene.
All right, you're introducing me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Matt here from Frank.
Founder of Frank.
We thought we'd do a quick little segment with one of the true champions of the team, Nick Mandikos. And we thought we'd just brand it something along the lines of horror stories of Marketplace. As we know, Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, I love them for death for everything other than buying technology. And we thought...
Or cars.
Yeah, I hate cars.
Actually, I saw lawnmowers.
I saw a really, really bad video the other day of a guy. Yep. He bought a car out of Japan on Marketplace, and it turned up to be like a little tiny Matchbox car. Anyway,
right.
I'll flick it to you.
Okay.
So anyway, Nick had a bit of experience. I'll let him fill you in doing some stuff on Marketplace. So we thought, what better way to what better thing to have a chat on than some horror stories of Marketplace?
Well, I think we should probably, to be honest, let's start this story of how we met.
Yeah.
That's because it kind of starts here, which is the weird thing. So, hello, podcast. This is weird. I'm normally the one recording it. I do a bunch of weird stuff around here at Frank. I'm a media guy. I do
filming,
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so
TikTok guru.
Yeah, and basically, my background in finance comes from doing a lot of the repairs, so like the Marketplace repairs and Gumtree repairs and stuff like that. So I guess that makes me, I've had probably at least close to 500 Marketplace interactions, maybe more, in this space. So I've got, I think, a few stories that I can tell. And yeah, like it can be pretty scary to use it. And that's, I think the main point of doing this episode is to try and show the reasons why you should use a verified seller like Frank.
Yeah.
That, goes through all the process to make sure things aren't stolen, that they work, that you have a warranty and stuff like that. And avoid the mistakes I made, because what I used to do, I'd buy phones, fix them up, sell them. And I just did that during high school. And anyways, the point I'm getting to is how we met. So I was on Marketplace one afternoon. I used to scroll through quite a bit. I spent a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace, and I think it was Gumtree. And I saw an ad come up, for a phone in Murray. It was like an iPhone 6. It was your personal phone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I messaged you and I said,
hey, Nick, I'm looking for the phone.
I'm just looking for the phone.
Can you knock down $50? And I was like, no way, back off.
That would have been about right. I would have asked for about $50 off, and knowing that I wasn't going to get it, and then got $20 off, came and picked it up. I was probably with all my mates in the car about to go get drinks or something.
You with your little brother.
Oh, was that time? Okay. And maybe it was the second time, because anyways, I just said, what do you do? Oh, yeah, you fix, I fix phones. And you're like, yeah, I run this little company. Yeah.
This is when we were just, so Frank, we kicked off Frank 2018. So as we were getting going, and like any startup, cash is king. And we were starting to do a bit of stuff in buying and working with corporates and buying back small fleets of phones. And we typically sell a lot of that wholesale. We weren't doing much selling directly to the consumer. Yeah, and just being honest, I was looking just for a little bit of cash money on the side, and I had some old phones of mine, personal, lying around, and started to do the space and went, throw on Gumtree and see if I can make a buck. Yeah,
so that's how we initially met. Nothing happened, but I think it was about literally maybe 7 days later.
No, the day after.
Was it?
This is the day after.
Okay.
So I got a message I put a phone up on Gumtree. Nick came, picked it up. Cool transaction, cool guy. Okay, handshake, see you later. I put another one up on Gumtree. Same guy reaches out and goes, hey, man, this is Nick here. I just bought that phone for you today. Can I take this one as well? I was like, okay, this is a bit weird. So then that was the day after.
Yeah, because maybe I hadn't told you that I was going to resell the phone.
No, you had no idea. I thought you just bought it for personal use.
Yeah, I probably told you because, it's a bit sour if you're going to go there and tell them it's for your little sister. You know how it is. I'm probably more likely to get $50 off.
Yeah.
If I don't tell you that I'm going to try and sell it for more. So, anyway, we met again. Yeah, and then you said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm, just fixing up phones, playing around." You said, "Oh, maybe we can do some stuff."
Yeah. Well, before that though, I said, "So what are you going to do with these phones?" You were like, very candidly, "I'm going to sell it."
That was the second time, I think, though.
Second time.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hold on, but I've just sold this to you. What do you mean you're selling it now?"
Yeah.
And then it went from there. That's when you had the whole crew of boys in the car.
Because it was I remember it was a Friday arvo. because we're all about to go,
Yeah.
pub or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's how we met. And yeah, I've had my fair share of marketplace stories. And I guess, should I just start?
Yeah,
talking?
I'm super curious on like you. So what was the core of what you were doing? You were going out there, you were buying phones.
Yeah, so like mainly at the start, I was just looking on like Facebook and stuff like that for really cheap ones that were like hardly anything wrong with them, and I just buy them and flip them. And of course, like I think I was 16 or 17, just had my license. I was using the money from lawn mowing to do this, so I had maybe not much money. And I heard some guy from school was doing it too. A lot of people actually did do this back then when it was easier to do it. And yeah, I'd just buy them, fix the screen. And early on, I bought one locked one from some really scary lady, like that I didn't know was locked because I didn't know how to check that kind of stuff, which everyone on this podcast, if they've never bought refurbished before, wouldn't know to check locks like that, and they would make the same mistake. So I made that mistake. I bought a network lock device. And basically I was just buying all these devices, fixing them up, or not even fixing them, just flipping them. And then it turned into, this is when I started to really meet the people of Gumtree, when I put up an ad for, let me buy your broken devices for cash. And you could buy stuff for a lot cheaper, but that's when I really got some stories going, and met the real people that you don't want to really meet on Facebook. Yeah.
It's a funny game. It almost becomes...
I'm not going to act like I'm from a terrible place either. There's way worse places in the world. And
it can become black market. I remember one of our first times we did a big corporate fleet of buying their old devices when they upgraded. And we actually had one of the IT managers, he pointed a handset out to me when we were doing it as an iPhone X.
Sure.
And he goes, "Oh, Matt, this actually was an old employee's phone of ours, but check it out and I'll see if you notice anything different." And I remember getting this thing, and the skin of it, the outside of it, looked like literally a brand new iPhone X. And this was 2 years ago. So that's still really, really, they're still a good handset now, but expensive as anything. I remember plugging it into, we have a software that we use internally here, third-party software that tests and verifies everything. And
72 checkpoint, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And you can't get past this thing. There's no human... The human element's taken away, so it has to pass through all those tests.
Yeah.
We plugged it in, and it actually said that the operating system was Android.
What?
Operating system.
I've never seen that.
Android. So it was an operating system of Android in an iPhone cover. So it literally was... It wasn't even it was a complete fake that somebody had taken it out of and put it in this.
And you paid full price?
No, luckily, because it was a corporate, and he was a friend of mine. He just kind of said, "Well, look, I'll let you see if there's anything wrong with it, but it's a good handset." And I was like, "Oh, mate, this is full dodgy."
Yeah.
So that was my first taste to go, "Oh wow, there's a bit of a black market. If you're not careful, there's a bit of a black market trade here." What's one of the biggest burns you had? How much money would you have lost on buying what you thought was a good phone?
I actually bought from, like, obviously I'm going to keep it very vague.
Yeah.
But like bought from someone, and they worked at Optus. So I probably should have like seen the red light straight away, or yellow light, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
It's probably the better analogy.
Do we have to blur out Optus? I don't think so.
No. Anyways, so he worked at a telco, and I think what was happening was people would come in with their broken stuff or whatever. They're going to upgrade their phones, and he'd do a sneaky and tell them, "Oh, I'm going to buy it. If you want, here's my number, and I can buy it after." So I was like, "Oh, okay, like sure."
But someone would be like, "Okay, I'm going to trade in my phone. I'm going to go up to the Optus counter. How much I get for this?" And he would go, "Hey, man, come over here.
I don't think they did trade.
I can give you a little bit more money."
Yeah, literally. But I don't think they did trade in Zen either.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but I think he would like tell like maybe a grandma or something like that just didn't.
Yeah.
Get like,
no problem.
You can buy it for like $50.
Yeah.
This is like an iPhone 8. So this is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I got the phone. It was cracked cracked screen, and I used to love those ones because I got really good at repairing those. And because the cracked back was a huge repair. It took 2 hours to do, and all I was thinking about was buying beers on the weekend. So I had all the time in the world. I wasn't going to do university. I'd be happy to sit there and plug in a little podcast. Quick plug.
Repair
Podcast. No. And just do a repair. And that was the plan. I paid he had it up for 150. I said, "Oh, can I buy it?" He goes, "No, I want 200 now because I'm getting so many offers because people just hounded on him." I ended up buying, like, he kept going up and up, and I was like, still going to make decent money. I bought it for like 350, maybe $400 because back then you could sell them for like quite a bit, like when they were repaired, and the parts weren't that expensive. And then, so I bought it. I did everything, like, and this is me as an experienced person that's bought tons of stuff. I checked iCloud, and I don't have what we have here at Frank now, where we could test everything. Like, I couldn't tell whether it's stolen or something like that. I was doing just a manual check. And anyways, bought it, all happy days, like, thought it was all good. I actually even went to fixing this thing. So I bought parts for it too. So it would have been about $550 deep. I sold the phone, and the lady who gets it has come back to me, and she says that it's like locked. I'm like, are you crazy? And there's people out there who, I mean, this could happen to you if you're out there and you're thinking of even selling your phone. We've got an alternative, obviously, Easy, 2 Ys, easy.com.au. Yeah. And yeah, so what a lot of people do is they'll sell their phone. The person will come back to them and they'll say, like, there's a problem with the phone. What they've done is that person that's bought the phone has an identical phone at home. They've done a swap-a-roo of, like, so say like something with like an issue that you can't really tell, like not a physical issue, like the camera's broken. What they'll do is they swap that camera over, like that, not that camera, the phones, and then just say that your phone was broken and scam you that way.
Oh, so they've got another phone.
So like their personal phone is like broken. They'll buy your one, and then they'll try and go, "Oh, I don't want it anymore," and like be like all intimidating or whatever, and I come back to you and do like they'll just give you their phone. If that doesn't make sense, yeah.
So then they walk away with actually the good handset.
Yeah, for free. So I thought she was doing one of them because I'd seen that. That's never happened to me because I heard about that, so I knew to be careful of that. But so anyways, I go, okay, whatever. I was pretty like confused, and it's I like have a look at it. It's definitely the same device. Check the IMEI and everything. Like she has
the IMEI. Every phone has a unique identifier called the IMEI.
Yep. So I checked that. Like, so it was definitely my phone, and it was locked to Optus or to network carrier. I'll cut that out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I guess it's got nothing to do with Optus.
That's not at all.
And yeah, it was locked, and I was super confused. So I don't know what the backstory is at all. That phone then had to be used for parts. I lost the $400 I'd spent on that like phone originally because I could use the parts again, and just a ton of time on that repair. So I was pretty annoyed. I didn't even bother chasing up the guy because it was, by that point, it's already been 2 weeks. Gone. So yeah, and that's just one of like quite a few instances where I've lost money and substantial amounts on phones. I mean, there's people out there that lose thousands on iPhone X's and stuff like that are locked and they don't know. When I was selling these phones, people half the time didn't even check them. Like, so yeah, I can just only imagine. I mean, because not everyone out there is going to agree to meet up with you again. So
what would you recommend for people if they are ever considering buying on Marketplace? What would you recommend?
Look, really, I don't know. I do. If you're that persistent on it, I'll do a ton of research on how to check whether a device is good.
Yeah.
I'd check everything. I'd open it up. I would try and set up the phone as your account.
Yeah.
Give someone a call, and then I would check the camera, stuff like that. But
would you do all of this there and then?
Yeah, in front of the person before I gave them any money. And if they had any problems, I would just walk away, which is another thing too, because you can have people can come to you as well, and they can drive 40 minutes and then you not buy it and then want money.
Yeah.
People are desperate. So, and I empathize with people like that, but I can't buy you a locked phone or give you money for fuel when you're lying to me about something that you're selling. So yeah, honestly, I don't recommend it because otherwise you're going to have to make the mistakes that I made, like at the start with buying stuff with superficial problems, like for instance, the iPhone 7 with that audio IC chip that has been known to become a problem. You wouldn't know about that unless you were a wizard of repairs. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, but like I said, if you were that persistent, just do a lot of research on what to check.
Get the checks.
Yeah, maybe bring someone with
Maybe
you.
I was just about to say, bring someone with you.
But
don't be afraid to say no, turn away.
Yeah. And the other thing too, like I'm saying this, like not even just because I'm here at Frank, but I would honestly recommend for all the trouble, the price difference between someone on Marketplace and here at Frank Mobile is going to be very, and like in some cases, it's going to be a lot less, but it's worth the extra maybe, honestly, maybe $100 sometimes.
Peace of mind.
12-month warranty.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sell, honestly.
No, well,
it's
not even Frank. Like this industry was born out of the
that
spoils of that
Yeah.
of the marketplace and the horror stories that come with that. And you jump on YouTube. It's why I just want to have a real quick off the cuff chat, because it's a real thing and people are getting stung every day. So just be careful. Be careful.
Yes, that's my story, guys.
Well, I think it was a big learning for me. Probably an even bigger learning for anybody out there. I was going to say entrepreneurs or businessmen or women or whomever.
Not even grandmas.
Anyone. Also,
grandpas.
don't dismiss if somebody comes to you randomly to keep buying stuff. Ask them the question: what are they doing? Because it might just forge into actually a pretty cool relationship. And so, Nico, I appreciate you sharing the stories. And for everybody out there, just be super careful. If you're buying from Marketplace, get the checks, get the trust behind the product itself, and good luck.
I guess, yeah, good luck. The Wild West.
The wild, wild west.
Yeah, it's a bit scary, but...
All right, podcast. Until next time.
See ya.
See ya.